All right, down a little bit more. Yeah, it's kind of like stair stepping, you know?
Stair stepping, Mark?
Well, yeah, you know. Like...
Is that a Florida lingo?
Actually, go all the way down. Let's just put the tank right there on that table. All right, so it's day 2 of our Mustang 360 Week to Wicked, and behind us, we got the suspension getting wrapped up. As yesterday was an exciting day getting all this Maximum Motorsport suspension installed. Today's another big day. We have horsepower coming in, and that is in Vortex. So they'll be here soon to install the supercharger to the engine, and I think Christian and I got a few things to do on the fuel tank.
Yep, we dropped it. We're gonna run some lines, more fuel.
Yep.
So more
and a bigger
power.
pump. So with that being said, let's get out of here and get to work.
Let's go.
Mark was nice enough to bring us his car as dirty as he could. He's getting this all prepped up for a bigger pump, added horsepower, supercharger. We need to change the lines and a bigger pump to feed the engine for the added horsepower. Okay, we're good there. Just kind of figure out how to snake it out of there, and once you do,
There's a sock.
oh God.
Oh, that's dirty.
That's gator water. Right
grab
there.
that.
It's in there, doctor.
Oh, the gator in there. Are you running moonshine in this tank?
He's running mud.
It's that freaking ethanol gas.
Actually, the rest of it's pretty clean. Not bad.
All right, so Jay's ready to drop in the Aeromotive fuel pump. It's supplied with a new O-ring and the new ring for the top here. And we're just making sure there's nothing weird in there.
And it goes in one way only, because there's,
Okay.
there's a little area in there that catches the fuel so you don't ever starve. And this is the return line, which if I can get this in
Probably
there,
Get in there, yeah.
then I can probably drop the return line in. It's got to be careful. I don't want to break a wire. There we go.
Yes.
One more. There it is.
I think
Some of them do, can't you?
Nice and tight. Here's our booties to go over the terminals, just like that. There we go, perfect. Look at that.
So, tell us why it's important to get this panhard bar in the area you guys have gotten it with your guys' bracketry.
Yeah, so we made sure to get it as long as possible. It just changes like the moment of inertia and
Like
and
side
how
by
it
side
swings
movement.
and stuff like that. Yeah, the longer the better. And we also made sure to get it at a good height, which is going to control your roll center, which is really important in handling. Make sure we're not doing anything like snap oversteer or something in the corners.
Gotcha. Cool.
The car was painted by Spikes Performance and Refinishing in Ocala, Florida. They've done a couple of project cars for us in the past, and it's an interesting color because of the House of Color candy finish. You have a base, and then you have the candy coat, and then you're clear. So inside right now, it looks like a very dark burgundy, which pays homage to the original color, which is called medium Cabernet. But when you get it out in the sun, it's like a whole different color on the car. So Dean just hit it out of the park.
Right now we're installing the torque arm crossmember, so we're just making sure that all our measurements are good and where they need to be. We don't want anything too far forward, too far back. Checking the angles, making sure we're good and where we want to be for the relation of the torque arm to the chassis. Looks like we're good to go.
That's the guy that's supposed to be watching us.
Obviously, our Mustang is a factory 5-liter small block Ford. The popular thing these days is to put a Coyote in it, 5-liter Coyote double overhead cam engine. We really didn't want to go that route. We wanted to keep it a pushrod engine, kind of keep it true to its original nature. So when we reached out to Ford Performance, one of their newest crate engines is their X2 302E. Essentially, it is the latest version of Ford Performance Parts' very popular X302 engine. As much as 340 horsepower sounds like fun, it can only be made more fun with a supercharger. And we gave our friends at Vortec a shout and said, look, we got this great little small block Ford from Ford Performance. What can you help us out with? And they're like, we got the perfect answer for you. Their V3 Supercharger, it's their newest head unit, self-contained oiling system. It's got all the greatest features in it, but we had them option it with their Heritage gear set. What that does is it installs their old school straight cut gear system, which gives that pronounced blower whine, which was very popular in the late 80s and early 90s when Vortec first came on the Mustang scene.
I don't know if this is gonna fit.
So while we're going to have this kick-ass car with great suspension and braking and custom interior, when we turn that key, it's going to sound just like 1990 all over again.
Okay, so I'm just installing the Supercharger belt tensioner pulley just so we can have it ready for mock-up. We've actually omitted the Supercharger pulley up here. We'll install that at a later time when we're doing the accessory stripe belt. Okay, so for the last part, this is a very important part to our V3 installation is we need to remove the shipping plug, which is this here, and we need to install the actual vent itself. The Supercharger comes pre-filled with fluids. This is just a snug fit, don't over tighten.
All right, so we finally got our sway bar brackets on there. Now we're gonna get the sway bar mounted up onto the axle, get everything hooked up, and get this guy set up properly.
So we have these E3 56 plugs, or a gasket seat plug. The Diamond Fire electrode that you see on the spark plug provides edge-to-edge spark discharge, which means it's going to project further into the cylinder and give you more performance, better fuel economy, and lower emissions. So we get that seated, and then we'll give it a quarter a turn with our wrench.
Putting the gas tank back in now that we've changed the pump out.
Let me connect this sucker right here.
So we're coming to the end of day 2. Fuel tank's back in. The guys from Maximum Motorsports are pretty much wrapped up. They're just doing some final tweaks. Mark is almost done with the engine. He's only been working on that since 8 this morning, so that is a good thing. Want to add anything?
Sure. Vortec guys came in, mounted up their Supercharger there. It looks nice. Bracketry worked out great.
Yep. Actually, Mark just started and he's almost done, so he's been doing good. So with that being said, thank you for watching and tune in tomorrow.